Alright, so here we go. Using the GCF to solve a problem, example 4. Go to page 219 in your book. Okay, and we're going to do the your turn. Sorry, it is page 219. Okay, the your turn. I'm doing the your turn so that later on, if you need another example kind of like this, you can look at just the real example. For that, they give you the solution. For your turn, you don't have a solution, so I'm going to give that to you now. Alright, so let's read this. The students in Mr. Noyle's construction class have decided that they want to build dog houses for their class project. How invigorating. The class will be split up into groups. Okay? Each group will construct their doghouse with the same type and amount of lumber, which makes sense. Everybody gets the same thing, right? Mr. Noyle has 24 10-foot 1x4s, okay? 32 8-foot 2x4s, and 8 sheets of plywood. You get that? Good. Okay. Available to use for this project. So A says, what is the maximum number of groups of students that can build doghouses, given how much material you have? Silence. Too much information to digest at once? Let's pick out the important stuff. Okay? Do we know how many kids are in each group? No. Okay? We don't even know how many kids are in a class. But that won't matter because the number of groups we can make is not based on the class size, but on the availability of materials. You with me? Okay. So I have, let's see here, I have 24 of these 10-foot 1x4s. Okay, that's a 10-foot long piece of lumber that's 1 inch tall and 4 inches wide. Okay, so that's, maybe I'll just write it like this, 10 feet by 1 foot. Oh, 1 inch, sorry. By 4 inches. That's just the dimensions of the board. Okay, but I have 24 of those. You with me? Okay. What else do I have? 32 8-foot 2x4s. So I have 32 8 feet long 2x4s. You guys know what a 2x4 is? Very standard piece of lumber. So those pieces of lumber are 8 feet long by 2 inches. It's actually 1.5 inches by 4 inches. Okay? And then the last piece of wood is a what? Or what is the last piece of wood? A sheet of plywood, a full sheet of plywood. 4 feet by 8 feet, right? So I have 8 of those. And those are just 4 feet by 8 feet. They don't tell us the thickness for a doghouse. It'd probably be like, I don't know, 1/4 inch or something. Okay, so I have 24 of these, 32 of these, 8 of these. And I need to divide it amongst however many students I have. What is the maximum number of groups that I could have?
4. Isn't it 4?
4? Okay, I could have 4 groups. If I had 4 groups, how much would each group have? Well, they'd have 6 of, whoops, hey, calm down.
It'd be 8 groups, wouldn't it?
8 groups, is that the maximum?
Yeah.
It is a maximum, right? Okay, how do you know that?
Because anything over 8.
Yeah, if I have 9 groups, who's gonna get plywood? Right, you'll have 8 groups with a sheet of plywood, but nothing else beyond that. You get it? Okay. Another way to look at this is, what's the greatest common factor between these 3 numbers? What is the largest value that all 3 of those numbers divide by?
8.
8. Okay, so our answer is our GCF in this sense. Okay. So I can have 8 groups. That's the maximum I could have. I could have 2, I could have 4, but the most I can have is 8. Got it?
Yeah.
B. B says, how much of each lumber type will each group have to work with? So I have 8 groups. How much does each group get of each type of lumber?
1 piece of plywood.
Okay, so 1 piece of plywood.
3 pieces of 1x4 and 4 pieces of 2x4.
So 1 piece of plywood. What was the other thing you said?
3 pieces of 1x4.
3 pieces of 1x4. How do you know that?
Because you divide it by 8.
Yeah, just 24 divided by 8 people, right? Or 8 groups, sorry. So 8. Whoops, not 8. My mistake. 3. I'll just say 3 10-foot pieces. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That looks like an X. And lastly, 32. Yeah, there you go. 32 over 8 is 4 of those other ones, right? 4 2x4s. Make sense? Yeah? Good. Move that up. C. What is the total length of 2x4s and 1x4s that each group has to work with? So that's saying, alright, if I laid these 2 pieces of lumber down, end on end. So if I took 3 10-foot pieces and laid them end on end, and then 4 2x4s that are 8 feet long and laid them end by end, how long would that line of lumber be? You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so maybe I'll show you visually what I mean. So I take my 3 10-foot pieces; those will be red. So just imagine I take like a 10-foot long piece, and I lay another one on like that. I'm gonna run out of room. And another one on like that. So those are my 3 10-foot pieces, and then 4 8-foot long 2x4s. Those will be blue. Okay, so there's 1. Those are a little bit shorter, right? 2. Oh boy. 3, 4. Get the idea? Hey, stop laughing. There we go. You see it?
Yeah.
How long is that?
Pretty long.
Pretty long. Good answer. Okay, so Haley says it's pretty long. That's the answer. Good. Next example. Long enough. How long is it?
62 feet.
62? How'd you get that?
10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8.
Yeah, right? This piece here, this is just 3 times 10, that's 30. And then the other part here, that's just 4 times 8. Alright, each of them are 8 feet long, so that's 32. Add them together.
62.
Yeah.
I thought it was an 82.
62 feet, we should say. Right, all of these are in feet
It's
units.
joke.
Pardon me?
I'm just talking about
Oh.
82.
You okay?
Yeah.
Make sense? Notice they didn't ask us about the plywood. Okay? We're not going to concern ourselves with that. Good stuff.